All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to welcome the Evil Geniuses jungler, Snoopy, to the desk. He'll be helping us break down the picks and bans for all of today's games. Snoopy, thanks for joining us. We obviously heard in the preamble that you kind of are a Fnatic favorite here coming into this matchup, but really, how do you see the lane squaring off as we see Peke versus White in mid, and you got Uzi, and you heard Puju talking there?
Well, actually, I think mid and top lane, I think Fnatic has a bit of an edge. I think it's more coming down to this bot lane. Whether Uzi can actually pull off the, actually carry the game or not. I think is the really thing they have to watch for is the TPs. If they get baited in by Putsu and they set up a TP play, it's really going to be crucial in this game.
And we were really talking earlier about how the teleport is going to be key in this series, but we don't know when Fnatic is going to bring it out because it's kind of their final strategy, and if they give it up in the first game of this best of 5, it might give Royal Club too much time to adapt to it because it's one of those things that you can scout, but you really only experience it when you play against Fnatic. And this.
Alright, JKdaPlague, I'm coming in with this going to be the series number 2 between Royal Club and Fnatic here. This is going to be the final spot for the finals. The winner of this will go there. We're going to be facing off against SK Telecom in the finals. They did manage to win their game yesterday up against Najin Blacksword. So here we are, Fnatic and Royal Club. Now, this is going to be an interesting match. I mean, Fnatic, they run those, already banning out. They don't want to deal with Lissandra. They don't want to deal with Kassadin. They know that they love those champions that lock them down. But this puts a lot of the big assassins here on the table. This puts people like Zed. This puts people like Artie. This puts just the people we've been seeing get banned just constantly. Fizz, Corki's going to be up. Vayne's going to be up for these Lissandra and Kassadin bans. But against Fnatic, they don't want to deal with it. Royal Club has probably never played against Xpeke's Kassadin-like skill before with teleport. It's just something you have to get over with, and then there's the Shen ban. Just getting rid of so much presence. Fnatic is actually going to go and ban Zed. Let's see what Fnatic decides to pick here for that first pick, but I actually I like the bans from Royal Club's side, just denying that presence, that roaming potential. There is still a possibility. They do go for the Fizz. Fizz was played many times in the EU scene. So that Fizz is going to be locked down, that nice assassin, able to just provide so much utility just by doing so much damage, and he becomes untargetable with Playful Trickster. These can be such a nuisance, especially when you get to Zhonya's. And we're going to be seeing a Jax Elise pick. Now, we saw Expression, he played Jax yesterday, but he was very easily countered. They would do a 1v2, they did a 1v2 swap the other game, and then they just really shut him down in the next game. So, I don't know how I feel about that Jax pick this early on in the game. I mean, they did ban, Renekton is banned. Renekton was definitely one of the problem people that Jax had to deal with. So Fnatic taking their time with this one. They want to know they want to think about how to deal with that Jax, because a late game Jax is probably one of the scariest things in League of Legends. They also did pick up the Elise in the jungle, just very standard Elise pick. She's just one of the queens of the jungle at the moment. And then of course there is Lee Sin. Lee Sin still open, gonna be picking the jungle, but who is he gonna play up top? So they're just gonna wait it out. They're gonna go ahead and pick Corki and their jungler Lee Sin. So they grab that Corki away. Corki definitely very strong, but Uzi grabbing that Caitlyn, he's definitely, likes that champion quite a bit. And that champion is very strong, got that nice laning phase. He's hovering around, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Caitlyn. Oh man, never mind, he's just going to fool around with me. He's not going to give me a chance. And here we go, Lulu and Vayne. So Lulu and Vayne is actually a pretty strong lane combo. But I mean, once Corki hits level 6, it's going to be very hard for them to get close to Corki. Corki's going to be able to do that nice bit of damage here. So he might go for the 1v2 lane swap, but I just don't like a 1v2 lane swap with Jax, so I don't know. They have a strictly late game team here, and you're going to see them try and force a good fight probably around the dragon at level 6 or 7. We'll have to see what they do. On the other side, we're seeing Leona get locked down. No. They're not going to pick Janna. Come on. Don't troll me. Don't troll me. We're still looking for our top lane, unless that's a Fizz top lane. Zac could be good. Zac can actually sustain here, but if Jax gets ahead, Jax can actually, he's going to be too much for Zac to handle. So Zac has to maintain that evenness at the beginning, or else Jax is going to be able to just run away with the lane matchup. But if they're going for that 1v2 lane, then Zac should come out on top, because Zac is so useful despite, being behind. He's just got that ultimate. He's got his passive. So you might see both teams actually go for the 2v1 here, or at least Fnatic should be going for that 2v1 because they would just benefit a little bit more from it, I believe. Because if you keep Jax low, he's just not that great. And so Jax, he needs to get farmed up. He needs to get those kills. He needs to get that CS to get to that late game as fast as he can. And Zach just doesn't need to do that. So I really think that Fnatic might go for that 2v1 lane swap. It still benefits Royal Club somewhat, given that it's Vayne. And if you keep Vayne even with Corki, Vayne will be a little bit stronger coming into these fights. She'll be able to do a little bit more damage. Corki, of course, with that level 6 poke, will do quite a bit. And here we have the voting. Fnatic 74% over Royal Club. And I feel like people are really underestimating Royal Club right now. Royal Club really did a good showing, I think, in these last couple games. Especially up against OMG. Nobody was expecting them to win that. I even expected OMG to pull that out, just given history of OMG, beating Royal Club. But Royal Club just pulling it out. They're really showing a good, nice showing here, up here in these games. Now, a lot of people, they saw Naj and Blacksword versus Gambit, and they didn't think that Naj and Blacksword was very good, but they had a good showing yesterday against SK Telecom. And if you haven't watched those games, you need to go watch those games. It went to it was a full Game 5 series here, and that's just incredible. I mean, SK Telecom and just Naj and Blacksword just went back and forth, and of course SK Telecom coming out on top. But, I mean, wow. But here we go. Game number 1 here of Fnatic versus Royal Club. And this is a big game. The first game can give you the momentum that you need to run for the rest of the series. So both teams going to head right off to that middle lane. You're going to see these deep wards coming out from both teams. See if they can catch up anybody. In the meantime, they're both heading to the same side. Never mind. It's just Corki who's heading to the same one side. He's going to be able to get any vision on this as they come through. They're waiting for the rest of the team here. Are they going to spot Fizz? They do spot Fizz. They come in. A little bit of harassment coming out from both sides. Cyanide going to get forced out of this jungle here. But Fizz coming in here. Oh my gosh, Zach gets a huge knockup. Here they come in. Uzi is super low. He's forced to flash out of the fight. He has Ignite on him. Nobody going down yet. Godlike going to get kicked on. He is also super low. Soaz is going to be forced back as well. So they burned a couple summoners out of Uzi. Out of Godlike. Godlike used his Ignite. Flash coming out of Uzi. Nobody else using summoners. Oh, Yellowstar did use his flash, and Soaz used his Ignite as well. So a big fight coming out already at level 1. So that's going to stop any more deep wards coming into this. So if they were looking for a 2v1 lane before, they're going to have to guess now. They have no idea. Well, if Pushu walks by that ward, then they'll have an idea. But Pushu not going to go back. He's actually choosing to stick around. I mean, he has very little mana. He could have gone back and made it back. He's about, I guess his mana will recover. He'll be fine. Pushu not going to go back, though. Going to go ahead and stick around. But this is going to force just a standard start from both teams. Lee Sin opting to go for that blue side start. Maybe want to go for that red invade that we see a lot of Lee Sins do. Or if he just wants to go just for the safe, his own red. To see what they decide to do. But the big thing here is that it's not going to be, I mean, it is going to be a 2v1 lane matchup, so Jax is going to be down in bottom lane. And again, I feel like Fnatic is going to get the way better deal out of this. Because I feel like Uzi wants to get ahead. He would get ahead of Corki Leona just a little bit early on. Just like maybe pre-6. But then they would lose. They would just lose after level 6. They would just straight up lose. But Zach is just going to be consistently useful, and Jax is following Elise right now. It is very interesting. Elise, Lucky used his smite on the blue buff, and here we have Jax coming around, just helping secure the red buff, just in case Lee Sin showed up. So, Godlike is getting this experience right now. He is level 2, so he's not, falling behind, and I think he's been picking up some of the small creeps here, but Cyanide's getting full experience off of these, and he's just, again, he's following Lucky. He's just following, leeching off experience at the early levels, trying to get some advantage. I mean, you see Soaz at level 1. Will this make a difference? Because obviously Lucky's going to come bottom with him, and if they do a 2v2 lane matchup, I mean, you're seeing Lee Sin going to go up top, but he's going to hit level 4 very quickly off of this wave. There's a big wave here, and he's going to get enough experience to hit this level 4 at a very nice time here. and that can mean like just spell death for them. But here comes Godlike. He is level 2, and they're going to be very surprised to see at level 2. I mean, he makes it in time for, at the same time Soaz gets experience. So he's actually ahead of Soaz in experience. Soaz getting super low at this tower right here. Gotta be careful. Does not want to get that passive pop to this early on in the game. But overall, I feel like Royal Club, they kind of like crippled their jungler a little bit. Elise is actually getting some of that CS down low, though, so that's definitely going to help her out a little bit more. But they are doing just so much better. Peke has to be careful. The Ignite taking on and forced to flash out of there. Well, it's not going to be able to take him. He's got the health pot ticking, but if he decides to leave here, we're actually seeing Leona come up. Yellow Star's coming in for the gank. It means Corki is going to be left alone. It's very dangerous for them to jump onto Orianna, though Orianna still has her flash. Fizz has to heal up. He has that way of doing it. 14 to 31 in CS, though. That is a very big deal. But, I mean, White is just full health. I'm not sure if this gank's going to be useful, and Pushu is just getting pushed to tower, and Yellow Star is just going to leave. A bit of wasted time there in that 2v1. Pushu going to get denied a little bit of CS. That does put Vayne in a little bit of a lead here. Both junglers and top lane are still laning together, but Jax and Elise are just starting to dominate in the CS. You're seeing 18 to 7 here, and this actually was looking very good for Royal Club. I did say that, Fnatic should have gotten the better deal out of this, but, I mean, Royal Club has played it very well. They played it very unique. I have not seen this kind of style running around with your jungler and then coming into lane together. I mean, of course they come into lane together, but running on with their jungler, I've never actually seen that. I don't know if they actually did that against the other games. But Godlike's coming in here. He's jumping onto Puju. Puju's taking a lot of damage. He's put down to half health. Lucky's coming in, but he can't get out through those minions to get a cocoon going. But he does put Pushu to half health. Godlike is also put at half health, but he's got the flask. Lucky's still coming in for a nice bit of harassment. They have the level advantage on them. Lucky level 4, Yellow Star only level 3. And they are kind of sharing experience. And the CS, you're seeing, 22 and 16, but they are ahead of their other lane counterparts who have been pushed to their tower. They're not as strong. Lucky's able to get some nice zoning with Cocoon, with the Neurotoxin. They're going in for Soaz. Oh, ignited. They're going to be able to pick him up. No! His passive is popped right as he gets there. Uzi is under tower. They might be able to pick this one up. It might not be enough damage, though. He's going to be able to come back. Soaz forced to flash out of there. Passive down. Flash down. They're going to push down this tower. No problem. Lee Sin forced to come top yet again. But Cyanide's going to get a lot of experience off of this. Cyanide is level 4. Going to be level 5 soon. But Whites, as we look at the middle lane, 54 to 20 here. This has just been a stomp in middle lane. Peke not able to get much done here. He needs a gank. But there is just so much pressure on the top lane that he's not able to get there. Meanwhile, Lucky is just invading the jungle constantly. Pushu trying to stop him from doing it. He's going to go ahead and force him off those golems. But this whole time, Godlike has just been able to farm, and this has just been looking so good for Jax here. Jax is going to start getting to that amazing state. I mean, he is keeping up with Corki in farm. That is how well he is farming right now. Keeping up with Corki, despite being in the 2v, in that original 2v1 lane matchup. Yellowstar going to get Cocoon. There comes the stun coming out to Yellowstar. He's stunned. He's ignited. Just one more auto attack. We'll be able to get the kill, but no, the Ignite actually got to pick up first blood. Jax getting that first blood is going to be so huge for them in that 1v2 lane matchup. This means Elise can actually begin to leave the lane. Soaz does not have his flash up. This is dangerous for him. The pass from Uzi is ticking. This one more Silver Bolts proc along with his Q should be able to pick it up, and it does. Uzi getting another kill. This was going to put him ahead of Corki by a mile. He's ahead of CS. He's ahead in the kill. So things are looking very good for Royal Club at the start of this game. Jax going to come back with that phage, coming back with that extra health, that extra damage. That passive is going to help him just deal with and just duel them. Are they going to go for another lane swap? You see him coming up the middle lane. Is he going to leech more experience off of this? Xpeke desperately needs this blue in order just to farm against this. And yes, it's going to give this blue over to Orianna as well on Royal Club, but Xpeke desperately needed this blue buff. He was just falling so far behind, and he's still behind. Over double his CS. He's just getting dominated right now, and we're just seeing Godlike just kind of roam around right now. He's doing the jungle. He is trying to farm up. They're doing what they can to just escalate him into that position. of just being a powerhouse. They're actually giving him that red buff, and the lanes are starting to swap. Vayne, again, she got that kill. She has a lead on Corki. She's got the Bilgewater Cutlass. Corki is going back right now. Vayne's going to be able to farm up that wave nicely. It's a nice big juicy wave for Vayne. So Vayne's going to get a nice lead in CS off of that wave here. But Jax getting that red buff. Going to come up on a SOAS. SOAS still does not have flash. And it looks like their flash and ignite will actually be up around the same time as well. A little unfortunate there for Jax. But this red buff, this dragon, some potential moving around it. They have a pink ward for Royal Club. Zach's starting to make his way down here, so they have the man advantage. Jax alone up top here, so they're not going to go for it. SOAS looking for the engagement middle. They desperately need that gank here. Jax needs to start making his way down bottom. He needs to push that lane as fast as he can to start making his way, or otherwise, now it looks like they're just going to have to give this one up. Dragon will go to Fnatic. Jax, nope, he's going to go ahead and keep pushing top, but he was starting to make his way down, decided against it. The first dragon is going to go to Fnatic. Not really much they can do about this, just well-placed rotation here from Fnatic. They're going to give that up. They are still down 2,000 gold here, and if Jax can get this top tower, it will be okay. It won't be that bad of a trade. It'll make it not as bad. You still get more gold from the dragon for your team, but this tower is pretty good because it gives you a nice amount of map control. And Jax is just starting to look, he's just looking so good. He's got twice the CS of Zach. Vayne has over 30. Orianna is dominating over like double as well. Lulu is winning. Triple the CS of Leona. Very, very well by Tabe. But Jax, this is what they needed to do. They have the late game team comp, and so they just have to throw themselves at it as fast as they can. And so once Vayne gets that Blade of the Ruined King, once Jax finishes that Triforce, then they're going to go for the team fight. They don't want a team fight before that, because then that would potentially put them very far behind here. So they want to get those fights in once they have those items that they need in order to do a team fight. I really like the movements by Royal Club so far. Just keeping up so well. They're dominating in CS. They're dominating just the kills right now. But they did not want to force that fight at Dragon, so they're okay giving up a little bit of their lead, for that Dragon here. But Elise, lucky kind of getting pinged on there. But here comes the ultimate out from Leona. It catches both of them. Uzi going to get ulted out. Tabe going to get kicked on by Cyanide. Cyanide forced to run out of her. Uzi has no answer for that. Tabe getting close on though. Cyanide getting close. He still has his kick. There it is. Dragon's Rage. Going to pick up a nice double kill for them in the bot lane. It is now 2-2. Gold lead only now 1,000 gold. Sorry, 1,600 gold. Nice pickup from Yellow Star. Yellow Star with the amazing ultimate, stunning both of them. It was just followed up with Corki damage. Very, very well played there. Lucky forced to come down here to the bottom lane, and it's definitely what they needed. Pushu getting that kill and that assist will pretty much bring him back into even territory with Vayne. Vayne still not able to finish that Blade of the Ruined King just yet. Corki does have that Phage as well, so he definitely was a little bit stronger at that moment. Just that extra health, that extra damage definitely helps than just the lifesteal. The lifesteal helps with just, extended engagements. But for those kind of quick bursty engagements, that next extra damage just does so well. He's got the double Dorans as well. So Corki making use of those items very well. Going to help him stay in this game, get him to that late game point as he comes back with a Sheen as well. Now Vayne has to be careful. She cannot engage. They cannot engage onto them. Look for Leona to really do something when her ultimate comes back. Her ultimate is already off of cooldown. So they want to try and find another engagement as fast as they can, especially with certain flashes being down. Flashes are down only for Lulu. Vayne actually did not flash, but if they go for this kill, they should be able to secure it just with Pushu's damage, extra damage coming out from Sheen. And they have to be careful. They cannot underestimate that power of Sheen. But I just want to talk about how much Weiss is farming right now. Weiss has 142 CS. The closest person to him is actually Uzi, and 117, and it's incredible, actually. 142 CS. There comes the ultimate. They're coming in. They're going to get locked down onto Tabe. Tabe's taking tons of damage from all the procs coming out. Uzi's trying to do what he can to Yellow Star, but here comes Cyanide. Does not land the kick. Uzi should be able to get out of this one, no problem. But there's the engagement. Elise starting to come in. Gets the cocoon onto Pushu, but they just don't have the damage. He is taking so many missiles. Pushu is now in danger. 300 health remaining. Lucky just gets bursted, though. He repels up into the air. He does no one to really land to. Lucky getting killed by Orianna. They're continuing the chase. Orianna's coming in with her Dissidence. White's not going to go for the follow-up. Peke off the map. Don't want to risk that. So all in all, a 1-for-0 exchange. Again, they're getting them while they are stronger than them. And that's what they need to do. Corki now 2-0. Are they going to make a move for this blue buff? You see Orianna coming in, just going to try and zone out Peke from this. He has no team support here. We're seeing Cyanide start to make his way through the river. Leona is waiting in the brush down low, but Lucky's going to get ult on him. He's going to repel the ultimate. They're looking for Lucky. Lucky is going to take him. He goes down. Peke picks up that kill. Whites is now in the next one. He's doing the damage he can. He picks up the kill into Peke as well. 1-for-1 trade. Vayne did get pushed, walk up a little far down in the bot lane. Leona was in that bush. Cyanide wanted to jump on him. But Godlike is just doing such a good job of just keeping him out. Forces the ultimate out of Soaz, actually. And Godlike is just looking so strong. He calls him with the flash. Oh, man. Leap strike. Empowered strike. Does not find the kill, though. Does force the flash. Does force the ultimate. Unfortunately, does not pop the passive. Godlike did use all of his summoners in that fight. Soaz still has his ignite, but if Godlike can pick up that tower, it will be well worth it. You see Peke coming in to defend it. Godlike's going to be able to pick that one up. Very nice, just extending the global gold lead. Dragon will be coming up soon. Going to see Godlike go ahead and go back, get his items. He's got the nice amount of CS, going to be able to finish that Sheen. Don't think he has enough gold to finish that Eternity Force yet. But on the other side, Vayne has now finished Blade of the Ruined King. She desperately needed that for this fight. And Jax is going to have Sheen for this next Dragon fight here. This might be what they needed. Royal Club needs to, to maintain this lead in the game here, because so far Fnatic has been playing very well behind. But, I mean, their champions are technically just better at this point in the game. Everybody on Royal Club has champions that are way better late game. They're not the best early game champions. Jax, he can be a bully, and he just becomes this late game monster. But it looks like Royal Club already just going to jump on this. They see Soaz up top. They know that he can't do anything. And Royal Club is just going to take this. No problem. Looks like uncontested. Lee Sin looking for the engagement, but the kick is just out of range. You're seeing missiles coming over, and I actually don't think Soaz is going to be able to get this. Peke is actually heading up there, or he was heading up there to try and deal with it, but if he goes up there, he will lose out on his own tower, and they're just going to be pushing. There's a 3-man push in middle. That tower's super low. It's going to get taken down, no problem, as they pick up another tower. 3-0 in towers. Soaz still working on that top one. Should be low enough, but it might cost him his life. And no, Soaz is going to leave. I'm not sure if the minions are going to be enough to kill it. It should be... Oh, I don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to barely survive. It'll barely live. Oh, it lives. It's going to... Oh, my goodness. They don't even pick up a tower here. Granted, it only needs one auto attack. Anybody can just dive in and just hit that once, but that's gold that they just don't have at the moment. Peke moving around the backside. It is warded. The Solar Flare is not as good, but there's the Zenith Blade doing wonders. Uzi is forced to run out of this. He used the Blade of the Ruined King proc, but here they come. White's going to get jumped on by Peke in the river. They're doing what they can. A nice condemn in the wall on Yellow Star. He's going to take lots of damage from this. He's going to go down, actually. There comes the Shockwave coming out. They wanted to find Pushu in that as well, but just did not find it. At least coming down here to join the fray. A 4-man push in bottom. Cyanide starting to make his way through the Tribush. Pushu forced back. Peke coming in. White's coming around the backside. Does not have a shockwave anymore. He's taking a little bit of poke damage from them. But he's doing... Oh, he picks up Pushu! Cyanide coming in. Can he pick the kill on Tommy? No. He's getting bursted down under tower. There's a double kill for Whites as they turn out to Peke. Peke has no mana here. The dissonance is just chunking them. Uzi's going to follow up with that kill. And that's going to be the tower as well. And they're going to continue this 4-man push. Meanwhile, Godlike has just been pushing down the lane. He's heading towards the middle lane as well to start picking that tower up as well. They're going to get some nice damage out of this, but the minion wave is just not big enough to do anything unless they just trade tower aggro. But they have the damage here. They're just going to tank it. Wow. The spiders were actually enough to tank it. And they pick up yet another tower. It's 5-0 in towers. So look at this kill. Peke, White's just doing such a good job here. Picks up the kill. far away. Cyanide coming in, but the flash just puts him in just an awful position. Uzi gets a beautiful condemn against the wall, and Cyanide just goes down. Uzi, that was an amazing condemn. Peke comes in, has no mana, cannot escape, and now the Triforce is now just on Jax. That global gold has just helped him so much. Those 5 towers, not a single tower yet down for Royal Club. Orianna able to pick up that Rabadon. She is 4-0-1. Blade of the Ruined King and Zeal looking for that Phantom Dancer on Vayne. And now everyone's starting to get to that mid-game, late-game power. And it's going to be very hard. Godlike can just split push. There's pretty much nobody right now who can 1v1 him. He can just split push, no problem. They have to send somebody to deal with him, but they have nobody to deal with him. They have not gotten the engagement that they want. I mean, they're all about this big, nice team fight here between the people. I mean, you have the engagement from Soaz, but Soaz is just so squishy right now. He's got the Sunfire Cave, he's got a Negatron Cloak, but he just doesn't have much right now. He does not have as much as Jax. Jax will just eliminate him. Let's see what Jax... Ooh, Peke missing an ultimate there. Not even sure why he threw that ultimate out. It should be... Oh my... No way. The 2-man Baron coming out. They're just trading tower aggro. Nobody expects this at 19 minutes into the game. They have it down to half health. Do they have the damage? Godlike is taking quite a bit from it. Lucky has the sustain. Can they get it? Vayne's coming in to help out now. Again, they have no idea. Cyanide's starting to make his way down here. This could be a throw here. Godlike super low. Uzi turning around, putting the damage out onto Cyanide. Oh man, Elise manages to get it. Can she repel out of here? Oh man, that might actually give her the chance to repel. Cyanide flashing over, trying to finish him off. Uzi's fighting 2 people. He's actually going to go down. Pushu picks up the kill. Somehow Cyanide, he does not get out. Godlike comes in for that kill, so they trade 1 for 1. Have the Baron still. Whites has the method of chasing. They have the regen to make this an extended fight, but they're not going to let it go. Vayne not going to have the Baron buff. But as a 4v4, that Baron buff this early just puts them in a 9k gold lead. It was a very risky Baron, but it did work out for them in the meantime, in the long run. They're going to have more gold. Not going to lose a tower. Corki does push on the top tower. That will go down. But they can easily just put these pressure on the lanes here. Again, Corki just has to walk up to it. He can just let the minions take care of it. The minions will just hit it once. There goes the tower. Boom. There's the first tower of the game. Going to Fnatic. Going to get that nice little bit of global gold to help them out here. But the top tower are getting so much pressure on it. They're just doing so much damage. Godlike just chunking it. Godlike starting to build that Vamp Scepter. Going to be able to build that into Blade of the Ruined King. And once he gets that Blade of the Ruined King, he's going to be a monster. Royal Club is looking so strong right now. This is a very impressive first game showing, and this first game just gives the momentum. Fnatic just didn't have an answer for this team fight yet. They just have so many things they have to worry about. And right now, White's damage, he's got 230 CS. The highest right now in the whole game. He has been farming like a machine, but he gets caught. He's going to get ulted by Lulu. He's going to be able to survive everything. Soaz is just going to get his passive pop. There's a shockwave doing so much damage to Pushu. Lucky is going to repel and dodge the rest of the damage, but the Ignite's going to be able to tick down to him. Yellow Star forced out of the fight. Cyanide forced out of the fight. White is going to be able to pick up Zac. The tower is going to go down. It is a 1-for-0 exchange. Pushu has no health over on the sidebar. Going to run back, heal up X-Peke. They're going to come back at full health here. This tower will take quite a bit of damage. Only Lucky fell. So a lot of the damage dealers are still up for them. The slow coming out from Tabe. Tabe actually taking a little bit of the tower here. But this tower is going down so fast. They're not going to have an answer. They run away, actually. They're not going to engage that fight. It is only at like 200 health. They decide to leave it up. They just have to get in there and auto attack it once. Are they going to do it? They're going to let it go. Dragon is, of course, up. That is way more important than that one extra tower. They can get that tower anytime now, along with that inhibitor. But they have this Baron. They just have been doing so much with it. And Royal Club, again, looking very strong, as this is now a 10k gold lead, or almost a 10k gold lead for Royal Club. And again, Uzi has been playing very well. You got to give credit to Whites, though. Whites is CS. Of course, you know, it is a little bit of a favored matchup for him. But White's CS is just incredible right now, as he goes for the QSS as well. does not want to get locked down by anything. He saw what happened last time. They focused on him with that Solar Flare and Zenith Blade. He wants to be able to get out of that very quickly. Does not want the damage to come out onto him. He also gives a nice bit of magic resist to deal with Xpeke's damage. Especially since he's so far ahead. He can do that defensive build and still just do monstrous amounts of damage. They're waiting. They're trying to bait. They want this blue buff. There are 2 Oracles. Tabe and Lucky both have one. I'm not sure that was needed. It looks like one actually might be running out soon. And there it goes. Lucky's just ran out. But Tabe with that Oracles now. They're just maintaining vision control. And look at this. They just have to share experience right now. There is just so little food for Fnatic that they can't get back into the game just because, look, their lanes are pushed out. All they could get is into the jungle. In the meantime, I mean, everyone else has been farming. They've been losing their jungle. Pekka going to get a nice big chunk on him. And just, oh my gosh, the damage that is being put out right now. They find Soaz here. Not going to be able to lock him down before he jumps over the wall. But Soaz takes a little chunk of damage there. And the tower is going to go down now. There it goes. As they move on to the inhibitor. Godlike in the front line. He is very tanky right now. He does a lot of damage. It's again very hard to deal with. They don't want to get into this. They don't want to get caught out right now. They're just poking down this inhibitor. That's all they need to do. Get the minion wave there. Lucky getting a little bit of poke damage on him. You're seeing Corki. He's trying to dish out the pain. But there goes the inhibitor. Royal Club getting the gold. 10k gold lead now. Again, they just start taking everything else in the jungle. Denying resources from Fnatic. They just can't do anything. White's daring him to come over that wall. Follow up with the kick. But the Fnatic is just so starved right now. We're even seeing the level differences starting to show up. I mean, Soaz level 13 to Godlike's 15. Peke's level 13 to White's is 16. And everyone is just running away with this game on Royal Club. They are looking very, very strong right now in this first game showing here. And if you're Fnatic, you got to start looking for something else. I mean, I don't know if they can actually turn this game around. It would take a very amazing pick onto Uzi to really do anything here. And that's what they're looking for. They got the ward over the wall looking for a potential catch here. But Uzi positioning is just positioning so well. They know they want to get onto him, but they're just not able to. As they're going to start poking down this next tower. Baron will be up in 1 minute, according to that timer. Now they have the good wave clear with Pushu, but Pushu's going to be using those missiles on minions. He's not going to be getting those missiles onto the champions that he wants to get onto. White's doing a little chunk of damage onto Yellowstar. Uzi's kind of out of position here. Here he goes. He's going to cleanse it, though. White's actually going to be the one cleansing it. Uzi is going to get ulted up by Soaz, taking so much damage. They're trying to get in there and kick him around here, but they just can't get the damage onto Uzi. Uzi's able to survive this whole time. They pick up 2 kills in the meantime. Royal Club, Fnatic looking for that engagement. They got a beautiful solar flare, but White's with the cleanse, able to get out of that. They're jumping in on the Yellowstar. There comes a shockwave, only going to catch Yellowstar though. Peke's jumping in the middle of him. White's taking a lot of damage. He's forced to flash out. He picks that one up, but Peke's going to follow down. In the meantime, Godlike is going to live through the tower grow. It is a 4-for-1 exchange. They could follow it up straight to the Nexus towers, but Soaz and Cyanide will be up. It's only 26 minutes into this game. Death timers are not that long yet. And as they take the second inhibitor, they can just transition towards that Baron buff. Godlike super low, though. It might be dangerous for them to just straight up do it. They do have Uzi. Uzi will chunk that thing like no tomorrow. Godlike does have some lifesteal. Nobody on Fnatic really moving towards this. This could be the second Baron for them. And this would just spell defeat here for Fnatic. This second Baron, they should be able to close out the game with this Baron buff. Everybody's going to get it. White's did come, Lucky did come up in time. No, it was White's. White's came up in time to get that Baron buff. And he is level 17 to Xpeke's level 13. Or is that level 15? Can't really tell. I think it's level 15. Yeah, it's level 15. But the damage, I mean, you look at the items just being built here. 265 CS, 173. White's has had this just amazing showing right now. Tabe with amazing just wild growths. Just onto everybody. Just onto whoever needs it. He gets the right person almost every time. And now we're seeing Uzi building. He's got his last Whisper, and now he's going to be going for that QSS. And their whole goal is just to lock him down, and now they have no means of doing it. They have no way of locking him down. There's no magic penetration on the team of Fnatic yet. Only the Stork Shoes coming out of XPeke. They're going to have a hard time dealing with these tanky people, especially when they have the Baron buff. As they start pushing down the last inhibitor tower, they're just man-moding it. They are just chumming in. Godlike's taking a bunch of damage. He jumps on the yellow star, and Pushu's going to get shockwave. They're going to be able to pick up that kill. Lucky's going to get solar flared here, but they're not going to matter. Soaz is still in the middle. Everyone's going down to Fnatic. Soaz the last person left. That's all 5 down. They lose nobody. Their health bars are still completely full. XPeke, the only one alive, comes in with the ultimate, but he knows he's dead. XPeke is just going to sacrifice his life. There's a surrender. He actually doesn't die, but there's a surrender vote coming out for Fnatic. And RYL Club with an amazing game 1. Wow. RYL Club doing so well. You gotta, I mean, if you're Fnatic, they just shut down those comfort champions. Cassidy not being able to be picked. Lissandra not going to be picked, and they just played it very well. Fnatic have to look for an answer for that. Are they going to want to ban the Orianna? I mean, Orianna's not somebody you really want to throw a ban down on with those certain champions open. But do RYL Club have their number? RYL Club, again, just with an amazing showing this far. And honestly, I'm going to wait, actually. I'm not going to say that yet. But anyways, I'll let the casters do their talking.
Additionally, picking a Jax early and basically telling Soaz to pick Zac or a tank, someone who wouldn't get beasted down by Jax, didn't work out very well in the end for them. Fnatic has to make multiple adjustments because I think the early scouting by RYL absolutely gave them a strong victory here in Game 1.
And let's take a look at what happened yesterday. We had 4 games on the red side win. Will we see Fnatic turn it around? It seems that the counter pick right now seems to be the stronger option for these teams rather than the blue start.
Especially with the bans so far in this series, the first 4 bans were completely countered against the other team, not some of the power bans that we've been seeing earlier in the World Championship. As we progress farther and farther in, these teams know how to deal with that stuff. Ahri wasn't even picked or banned. Fizz was destroyed in lane. The game's changing.
All right, guys, let's get a little more insight on this. We're going to set it over a quick shot, and the guys at the analyst desk for their take on RYL Club's monster Game 1 win.
Thank you very much, Riv, and what a game from RYL Club. They came out swinging and landed every single blow. Before we talk about the game and how that played out, I really feel like RYL Club did their homework in this matchup. They banned out Cassidy and Lissandra, 2 champions that we've seen, Soaz and Pekka using particularly well, and then Shen as well. So with the added threat of those teleports, that's a lot of non-globals to deal with.
And when people talk about Fnatic's strategy in the pre-game discussion, we were all saying Fnatic's TP, this is how they're going to shut down Uzi. When you ban Cassidy and Lissandra, it eliminates a lot of what Fnatic has been using throughout the group stage and quarterfinals to use TP, and they ended up early picking Fizz, which I think was a big mistake because that's a little disrespectful of White. I don't think he knew that White played Orianna, who does really well against Fizz, and as you can see, at like 8 minutes, Fizz had 20 CS to White's 60 CS.
And there's something really interesting as well in the pick and ban game because we look at just yesterday's semifinal where it was like Jax has been used as a primary counterpick to Shen and he will destroy the matchup and did every single time. And here's RYL, who were happy to play Jax, banned Shen anyway because they weren't worried about the 1v1 matchup, they're worried about actually the teleport game. Screw the 1v1 matchup, it's actually about taking Fnatic out of the comfort zone. And then second to that as well is the pick counterpick point that Jap brought at the very end there, which is these guys blind picked Jax and said, bring whatever you want, we're still going to win the matchup. Meanwhile, they got to counterpick Fizz and won that one really hard.
But it wasn't just the picks and bans that really showed the strength of RYL's planning right here. I really want to talk about this top lane jungle pathing that we saw, the follow from Godlike through the jungle. And it was really funny because this is the first time I've seen a professional team do that. But as Double Lift knows, Hotshot came up with this idea, and we were planning on using this in the LCS playoffs.
Is this Season 3 secrets?
It's season 3 secrets. But we wanted the 2v2 lane against TSM, so we were going to use it if we got deeper into the tournament. But the basic idea here is if you do a full jungle clear with your top laner tagging along, both your jungle and your top will hit level 3 if they share that experience. And you abuse the fact that most 2v1 laners, the two-man will decide to pile the wave and slow push it into the turret. So you have this assumption that they want to build the wave, so that gives you a lot of time to get back into that lane, and therefore it gives your solo laner a pretty big advantage and is a lot harder to dive.
Yeah, this is pretty much a really nice elaboration. I'm coming from just doing wolves on a solo lane and then going back to lane, just getting all those camps, as Moni said. And as you said, yeah, I really like the part that it punishes people who stack waves. That's why recently in Europe we see more people just going for the fast push 2v1 to basically have the least risk. It gives more reward in the worst case, but it's way less risky. At the same time, it punishes Leona really well. If Leona stacks waves, all she can do is dive. So technically, Cyanide should join Leona to guarantee the dive, because if Lucky and Godlike join up and use those AoE spells to clear the stacked waves under the tower, there's literally nothing you can do as Leona. You cannot chunk a tower, you cannot dive to people, you get pushed out. And then I really like how RYL handled the Leona. In early game, they did that. Mid game, you have Lulu and Vayne. Condemn can get her away. Wild Growth can both stop Zenith Blade and protect people that are getting hit. What I would like to see still, though, is Uzi going for a cleanse. As we pointed out in talking during this game, double shield composition on a Vayne should be enough to keep her alive, and I really think you should opt for a cleanse there over a barrier.
And actually, to talk about your point, I guess both your points around the 2v1 setup and the jungle clear, think back to the very beginning of the game, because that game started on a very hectic early game fight. And Fnatic, if I recall correctly, did not have a lot of deep ward coverage spotting the jungle route. That in part of this game, RYL knows that Fnatic doesn't know he's clearing the wolves and clearing the red and clearing the wraiths, so Fnatic doesn't have the intelligence or the knowledge to counteract that.
That's exactly right, and when we were planning for it, you have to deny those deep wards, and one of the ways you can do that is with a pretty fast invade. So it all comes together, yeah, that's a really good observation.
Or a level 1 fight where you force everybody and not actually doing it. One thing I want to touch on, because we focus very much on the very early game, is just how well White's actually played during the course of that matchup. You know, his Orianna dominated Peke in the mid lane. He managed to force a flash and ignite very early on. He was up, I think, like 80 CS approaching the 20-minute mark. I think he went 5-1-3 or 5-1-5 towards the end there, I can't recall. He had a brilliant performance, and he was almost, you know, swinging the game in their favor. Even though all the lanes were doing particularly well, White's counter-ganked. He was in the bottom lane when there was trouble. He was roaming at the right times, and RYL just played that phenomenally.
And I think Peke was a little arrogant in first picking Fizz, because if you remember back in group stage when they played Gambit, Peke was on Fizz and he randomly turned around the lane by killing Alexish with an amazing play between 2 towers. And that's not going to happen every game. He played against White this game, and White played safe and smart, and he got an amazing CS lead. White ended up actually roaming bottom lane. Orianna should not be out roaming Fizz. Yeah. And I think that won't happen again. I don't think Peke is going to early pick an assassin like Fizz that can be counter-picked by a good player like White.
Well, closing thoughts, Greppo?
At the same time, this ties in with the entire 2v1 matchup. So they deny the vision, they force 2 against 1. That pretty much guarantees that the jungle is going to show up in one either top or bot lane, and that makes any counter matchup in mid any more potent. Like, Orianna can get ganked by Lee Sin and Fizz working together, but because RYL was forcing these 2v1s, they basically said, hey, have your mid lane free to yourself and just win that matchup.
Wow, fantastic research and decision-making from RYL secures in the first game in the series. We do have to take a very quick break, but when we return, Uzi and the rest of RYL Club will try to make it 2 in a row against Peke and Fnatic. Plus, SK Gaming's mid laner Ocelot will join Shocks to talk about this semi-final showdown. The Season 3 World Championship. We'll be right back. Don't touch that mouse, guys.